Hello and welcome. Thank you so much for being here and thank you for listening in today. I have a really fun guest today. I have been trying to get her on. The schedule's finally aligned. She's here. So let's just get right into it. Ngozi Musa, welcome to Unscripted.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for doing this and being here. I know your schedule is crazy.
We made it work.
Especially with South by Southwest.
Yeah.
Am I saying that right?
South by Southwest.
Yeah,
yes.
South by
yeah.
Do you know when I first moved here?
Yeah.
When Shay told me, my husband told me, oh, there's a South by Southwest thing going on. I was like, oh, Southwest does a event in
Austin. Yeah. So, I mean, like, I didn't even know what South by Southwest was until like I moved here either. So it's like,
well, welcome.
Yeah.
Where did you move from?
Yes. So originally from the Midwest, Wisconsin.
Okay. Oh, wow.
I've lived in a lot of different places,
Wow.
but grew up in Wisconsin, moved to Seattle halfway through high school, went to school on the East Coast, then lived in New York for 6 months, moved back to Seattle during COVID, and then from Seattle I moved to Austin in 2021.
So what brought you to Austin? Was it work?
Yes, work. And also I came to visit in 2020 and like absolutely loved it. Like my friend Gabby convinced me that she's like, you should move to Austin. And I was like, okay. So a year later I just moved, and then I also worked at Outdoor Voices at the time. So that was based in Austin.
Oh, that clothing company.
Yes. Yeah.
I have some clothes from there.
Yeah.
They're so comfy.
Yeah, very.
What do you do here?
Yeah, so I am the community manager of fitness at AG1. So I work remote, but a lot of community activations and programming. And then I also have a run club in Austin called Your Mother's Run Crew.
Yeah, I just saw that. We'll definitely get more into it. How was this weekend for you? Because it's South by Southwest weekend. If you guys are listening in, it's a huge festival of tech, music, film, and I don't know what else. Interactive activations, community building, all that good stuff. And you had like crazy events because I saw you at the Lululemon one.
Yes.
What else did you have to do for that?
Yeah, so we just supported and popped up at Lululemon with at the Peach House, and we're giving out samples of AG1. And then through content creation, I started that maybe 2 years ago. Started going to a lot of events and activations there. So creating content and just being able to be a part of that side and that community as well.
Yeah, that's amazing. I don't know how you do it all. Oh my God.
Sometimes I'm like, not enough hours in the day.
I think yesterday, Ngozi and I were at a really fun, like, I guess, spa retreat event with the Higher Dose. And I swear her and I are still like so relaxed from it that I don't know how to like wake up from it.
Yeah,
it was
right?
so much fun.
Yeah, it was crazy. And
the
I feel
gifting
like
was crazy.
The gifting was crazy, but also like even getting a lymphatic massage and realizing I'm so out of whack, like was eye opening. And I'm like, I need to do more of those.
Yeah, I have a lady on call if you ever need her.
Oh, love. Yeah.
I'll send you the information.
Yeah.
How's life in Austin treating you?
It's good. It's been almost 4 years since I've lived here, and I feel like I always say, Austin, you can touch grass. Like living in other places like New York or Boston, I feel like you don't necessarily get to touch grass, and there's so much like life here, so much community here, an ability to do so many different things, be active, but also if you don't want to be active, like just chill, very entrepreneurial. So it's a great city to live in. Yeah,
I was saying that too. Also, like everyone is from everywhere. Yeah. And they all end up in Austin, and you just end up meeting them. Like I met at Harry Styles' Pleasing pop-up last year, and we're here today. And I was just like, wow, that's so insane.
Yeah.
And I just think that's the best part about Austin, just how everyone just connects immediately.
Yeah.
So was that hard for you?
I feel like I like that aspect because everyone's so friendly. And I think one of the biggest things, it's funny, from like convocation, my freshman year, our dean said like, don't compare, connect, and like that's like stuck with me my entire life.
Connect.
Yeah,
I like that.
Stuck with me for the last like 8-10 years of like the aspect of like there's so many people doing so many amazing things in this city, and being able to like connect and not really compare yourselves to like what you're doing. You're on your own path. Everyone's on their own path, but being able to connect in that front and support people. Fun.
No, and you are definitely one of those people. And you always radiate that, and you connect so well. Like, you and I were just in line, and you just started talking, and I was like, I'm also really socially awkward, so when you started talking to me, I was like, thank God someone's talking to me. But it was so nice. I was like, wow, you can just, like, connect with people and talk, and no one's really going to judge you if they do. It's just not meant to be.
I love it.
Yeah. So where'd you go to school?
Yeah, so college, I went to Harvard. And studied sociology with a secondary in African American studies.
Oh, wow. Amazing. Yeah. How was that?
I always say it's an acquired taste.
Yeah.
I ran track in college as well, so I was a collegiate athlete. And going into freshman year, December freshman year, I told my coach I was quitting the team and moving and going to the University of Washington. It was like a whole mindset.
You were running for Harvard?
Yes. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
God, you have like a awesome resume.
Thank you. Yeah. So told him I was quitting the team and moving back to Washington to go to the University of Washington because it was like such a mindset thing. I was injured and so many things were going on. Had to really shift my mindset and go towards more of a growth mindset rather than a fixed mindset and realize it's about the process and not the destination.
Yeah.
So ended up spending 4 years there. I always say it's an acquired taste because by the end of it, I was like, I don't want to leave. But it was a good experience.
Well, how was that shift for you from going to being an athlete full time and also at Harvard and then going to Washington?
Yeah. So after Harvard, I lived in New York actually for 6 months before I moved to Seattle. But it was a wake up call, but also kind of an identity crisis moment where I had been a collegiate athlete for 4 years, been a track athlete for 14 years.
Wow.
And that was so much of like the spoke that I put all my eggs into, or the basket that I put all my eggs into. And so I struggled while I was in New York because I was like so anxious, so like just unhappy being in the city. And I think I realized I was in beauty marketing. I realized that maybe that's not what I want to do with my life or I want my life to look like. And I kind of put my eggs in the beauty marketer basket and was like, oh shoot, like I don't think this is me. And so it was kind of a wake up call and a moment of like stepping back and being like, okay, I need to figure out what my favorite color is, what I like to do, who I am, and like
go
understand.
Back to yourself.
Go back to myself and go back to the roots of who I am and like understand that there's so many different spokes to my wheel outside of like just being a runner. Like I'm also a daughter and I'm also a sister and I also like to be creative. So like kind of reorienting myself to who I was outside of track.
That's amazing. Mm-hmm. Well, then how did you get into, I was going to get into this later, but I guess right now, how did you get into content creation too?
Yeah.
And then how did AG1, well, you said you were working for Outdoor Voices, so that's probably how you got shifted into AG1 as well.
Well, it's funny. So in 2020, when I moved back home, right before COVID hit, I quit my job, moved back home, was like, I need to just reset. Then COVID hit, and I feel like it was like honestly a wake-up call and a blessing in disguise for me because I could ask myself those questions of like, what am I passionate about? What do I like to do? And so in 2020, I started a podcast called Aesthetics and Athletics to inspire and empower the athlete and every woman. And I wanted to explore conversations about self-care, mental health, nutrition, all those things that I knew in the context of sport, but now was outside of sport, and I didn't know how to process or how to live more holistically when it came to the spokes on my wheel. So ended up interviewing lots of professional athletes and trainers and coaches just to see how they approach wellness more holistically. And that kind of spurred me into the health and wellness industry and like in that space, and ended up working at Outdoor Voices for 2 years. And then I've been at AG1 for almost 3 years. But that's kind of how it all spurred me to realize like I love being in the health and wellness industry, and like I'm so passionate about working for a brand that I'm passionate about, and I take every single day, and like,
I love it.
Makes my life better.
And you do take it every day. I can vouch for that. I see it every single day on my stories.
Yeah.
No, but I think this is such a beautiful reminder too that you can literally start somewhere and end up anywhere. You know, like you just have to keep going for things that you like and keep reintroducing and restarting until you find something.
Yeah.
And you literally did that. And I love that for you.
Yeah, it was great. It was hard at first, but like you learn a lot about yourself, and it forces you, like you said, it forces you to restart and like reimagine like what do you want your life to look like? Yeah.
Do you still have your podcast?
No, I like made it to 20 episodes, and I was like, I feel like everyone started a podcast in 2020.
Yes.
I made it 20 episodes, and then I was like, I don't think I can do this long term.
It's really hard.
Yeah.
I'm like my own producer, director, editor, writer.
It's like a third full-time job.
I was telling my friend, until I like have a team like Jay Shetty, Mel Robbins, Alex Cooper. God, until then, it's me.
Right?
It's me, myself.
Yeah.
It's really hard.
But I realized you asked me how I got into content creation.
Yes.
So
Sorry.
I just realized.
No, but it's okay. This conversation, I love yapping.
Yeah, I'm a yapper. I swear there's always a point somewhere in there. But I worked at Outdoor Voices and was like on the brand marketing side and moved into the influencer and like ambassador space for the brand. And then worked, like I was like, I'm paying influencers so much money. Like, why am I not doing this myself? Like, I've always been a creative in that front. And so I started content creation maybe in, I want to say 2022, and started posting more consistently, and it's been fun.
Do you like it?
Yeah.
It's a lot though, right?
It's a lot. I feel like I'm not as consistent as I want to be.
Yeah.
But again, it's like having a third time or a full-time job.
Yeah. You're also like, you have a full-time job already. So on top of that, being creative on the side is so hard because you have to also turn your brain off there and then turn it on for creation, and it's a lot. I tell my friends who have full-time jobs and also are creators, I look up to you guys because thankfully I don't have to have a corporate job, but I get to do this full-time.
Yeah.
So I can just keep turning on and turning off whenever I want, but you guys have to like be on it for both sides if you're trying to be consistent.
Yeah.
You're doing an amazing job.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I've like, my one thing for 2025, I almost said 2026, we're not there yet, is to be more consistent, and I think that's my big...
I mean, you're doing great. I mean, you also, I feel like with your job as well, you're meeting so many creators at the same time. So you're still doing the work. Yeah. But I guess you're trying to put more content out there.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, what sparked your love for running? How did you get into running? Because that's how I found, well, when we talked and then I started stalking you a little bit.
I love it. I started stalking you too.
So I was like, oh, she's a runner. And then I just started becoming like really invested in that. Yeah. So how did you get into it?
So I started running when I originally played soccer when I was growing up. Okay. And then I started running when I was 9 years old and did like a full track, it was called the Hershey Track and Field Meet. But my dad actually got me into running, and he saw it, and everyone saw it from when I was playing soccer, because I would just they would kick the ball over the defender's head, and I would run and like was so fast, beat everybody. So
they're like,
she should be a sprinter. Take away the ball and just sprint. So I started when I was 9, and then I continued all throughout high school, and then moved halfway through high school and started training more consistently from a running perspective with a full-on like club coach, and then got into it, did it in college, and then post-college, you can't really sprint past college unless you are going to be a professional athlete or go semi-pro, and I was like, okay, what am I going to do? What's my modality of choice? And I actually stopped working out for like a full year in between like graduating, and I was like kind of on and off, but I wasn't doing high intensity work at all. And living in New York. And then when I moved back home, I was like, I need something, like I need to go outside for my mental health. But for me, I was always like, okay, I need to get somewhere quickly. So I'm like, I don't want to walk. I'll just run a mile every other day. Like that's what we're doing. And that's how I kind of almost 6 years ago, started running distance in that front. Ran my first half marathon in 2020.
Amazing.
And then have run a couple marathons.
Oh yeah, I've seen. I'm like, how do you keep doing that?
Yeah, right.
I did one, and I was like, I don't know if I
it's
can do
hard.
it.
It's hard work.
Yeah, I've done 2 in my life, and every time I'm like, no, I'm not gonna do it again.
Yeah, and then you just get an itch.
Yeah, like oh, I'm getting older. I could totally do it.
Yeah, right. I don't think I'll be running. I ran New York Marathon back to back in 2023 and 2024. Wow. So I think I'm taking a little bit of a break for 2025, but for sure.
Did you run any Austin ones?
No, but I've always done the Austin half since I lived here, and I took a break from that as well. Mile 11 really gets ya. Yeah.
Are you talking about the January one or the February one?
February one. Okay. Yes.
The January one, mile 11, did get me.
Oh shoot.
Because there were like 3 hills back to back, and I was like, "Are you kidding?"
I hate when they do that to you.
I hate it. They're like, "It's all downhill." No,
like, nope,
that's a lie.
It's not.
Well, you said you were a sprinter, so you were sprinting first, like What was your
100, 4x1, 60, the literal shortest races you could ever. I didn't even run the 200 because it was too long. Like I ran 200 every single year and that was it. And so it's funny, my college coach always thinks it's so crazy still to this day that I like went the opposite direction and am now running marathons and halves, because I would be like probably the last person you would think to start doing that.
Yeah. Oh my God. I ran track and field in high school for one semester, and I did sprinting.
Yeah.
So I could not do long. And it was 100 meter, 50 meter, or 60, 100. And I was like, yeah, that's it. Yep. Or a relay. That's it.
I know. Those are the fun events.
Yeah. I was like not even that fast, but I was like, yeah, I'm fast. Fuck.
Yeah. I love it.
Running is as much as a mental game as it is physical. Yeah. So what's your go-to mantra to like just push through?
Yeah, I feel like
a tough race.
Yeah, I feel like New York Marathon this last year was on the tougher side for me because I was trying to go for under 4 and a 28-minute PR, which I ended up hitting. But biggest thing for me was to stay in the mile, because I think I so often am like, okay, if I had a 10-mile like long run, I'll be like, okay, I have 10 miles to go, instead of being like, okay, I'm running in this current mile, like how do I stay in this mile and enjoy the process of this mile versus trying to rush it. So my mantra is like, stay in the mile.
Oh wow. I it's so hard for me to stay in it because you're like, my body's hurting.
Yeah.
How do I do this?
Yeah. Well, I think it's like, I realized like that was such a good mantra for life too. Yeah. Of like just staying in that moment, in the present moment, and not looking so far into the future that you become anxious and are worried, but like staying in that present moment.
Yeah. Okay. That's good advice. You know, I'm a beginner runner. So what's a common mistake that beginner runners make, and what's your best advice for improving speed and endurance?
That's a really good question. So I actually got this from my marathon coach, Jess Mulvold. But one of the biggest things is a lot of people think that in order to run a marathon or a half, you have to be running race pace for every single training run and every single like easy run. And I ran 2 minutes under my like race pace for majority of my runs while training for a marathon, because you like the zone 2 aspect of staying in that threshold and being able to like breathe and learn those things and like stay in those miles in that threshold is so important. So a lot of people think you need to like run super fast and be super fast at every single mile,
but you like, get so tired, right?
Yes, yeah. It's like from an aerobic perspective, it's better to be able to extend your like breath in that way to be able to run like that. And then the other thing I think too is like you kind of, I personally believe you have to go slow to go fast in that way. And it's important to do speed work too. Like figuring out training that works for you, but like also hitting on that speed endurance aspect of being able to do interval work or speed work. It's kind of a mix of a lot of things. And don't forget to cross train.
Cross training, strength training. I think that's so important because you're already losing so much muscle because of running. And if you're not training that, you're going to get really weak.
And fueling your body. A lot of people... Like, they're like, I'm running, but it's, like, so important to refuel your body so that you can recover properly and be able to put more mileage on your body. So I would say fueling is really important.
And how do you fuel? Like, do you take in a lot of carbs while running? Because a lot of people have this misconception that carbs are going to make you bigger. Yeah. But I feel like carbs are a fuel. Yeah,
carbs are fuel. A lot of electrolytes, too. Like, that's huge. I feel like my biggest thing, even in like a half, like I've seen myself on the other side of like bonking or like just being like not having enough fuel for a race that you are like not there, like lights are on but no one was home. So I've been in that situation, and so I'm very serious about like electrolytes and making sure I'm carb loading and making sure I'm even like down to like like the nutrition and like the goos that you're taking or the like sustenance you're taking throughout your run, like making sure you're practicing those stuff before race day.
That was
so
something
that you're
able
to like really optimize performance there.
Yeah, so. TikTok taught me that I need to practice eating because I didn't like the goo, but I like the gummies. Yeah. So TikTok was like, practice everything when you're running, and I was like, oh,
they always say don't do anything
new on race day. Don't wear new shoes. That's the biggest mistake you can make.
Yeah. Blister central.
Oh, it's the worst. It's the worst. If you could run against any athlete, past or present, who would it be and why?
That's a really good question. Any athlete, past or present?
I wouldn't run against anyone. I'd lose.
Well, you know what's funny? In my head, I'm thinking I want to run against someone so I improve my 100 time.
Yeah.
That's a really good question.
Or have you ran against any athlete and you were like, damn, I'm faster than you?
Well, I would say Tiana Bartoletto or Bartoletta. Actually, maybe I'd run against Allison Felix.
Okay.
She's obviously passed now, but great sprinter, great runner. She was more of a 2-4, but if she was running the 100, I'd love to run against her.
Yeah. Okay. Why? Why do you think?
She's just a great athlete, and I'm thinking of the aspect of how if I were to improve my 100 times, she'd be a good person to run against to improve that. So yeah.
What was the most unforgettable race you've had?
That's a really good question.
I'm sorry, I'm just putting you on the spot.
I would say, can I answer this twofold?
Yeah, of course.
So I would say one unforgettable race for me in college was I ran in the Ivy League championship, and my senior year, one of my best friends went pro, and so it opened the door for me to win an Ivy League championship in that way because I wasn't racing her, but I was able to win the Ivy League championship after a really long, hard 4 years, and it was kind of the icing on the cake of the journey. So I would say the 60-meter Ivy League championship in 2019, that was my glory years, but my glory years are still continuing. Yeah. But I would say an unforgettable moment was probably the New York City Marathon that I just ran in 2024, because I was so mentally in my head. And it was a hard race for me, but I feel right at the end, I just got this burst of runner's high and energy that I was and I knew I was very close to breaking 4. Yeah. That I just started sprinting. And, amazing. Which after 25 miles, I don't know where that came from, but I just literally bawled across the finish line because I was in shock, but it was also so hard. And I think just doing hard things, it kind of made me realize I can do do hard, I'm stronger than I think I am. Yeah. In that front. So that was a really good race.
Amazing. Was your 2023 New York Marathon different from 2024?
Yeah, a lot different. 2023, I was very much so first marathon, first time running on over 13.1, and was kind of taking it as a fun race, and was raising money for a charity, so it was a great race. But 2024, I was very much so I want to PR and I want to do well at this and push myself in that way. So it was a 28-minute PR under 4. It was 3:58, which 28 minutes is kind of a lot. It was I was really pushing myself, and I don't think I've ever pushed myself for that long for that amount of time.
Just running that long is just incredible.
Yeah. And remembering, and I had one of my good friends, Kat, pacing me, and remembering to stay in the mile, because there were so many moments where I was I don't think I can do this. And Kat was you got this. Having someone there to support you is so important.
Such a
but
big
then
difference.
Also your mental capacity and your mental thought and mindset is so important when it comes to those things, because you have to talk yourself off a ledge to be there are so many moments where I was I don't think I'm going to make under 4. And I wanted to give up, and I was no, you literally can't.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah. I mean, you already made it this far.
Yeah.
Because you have to get approved to get into it.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So we actually, my run club works with New Balance. So they were so kind to give us bibs to New York. So I was able to run with them.
Hell yeah.
But yeah.
Was it the hardest marathon ever that you've ran?
I would say yes. Since I've only run 2 marathons in New York twice, from 2023 to 2024, complete difference, hardest marathon. Because I also think you remember the spots. Yeah. You remember the hills, you remember which parts are hardest. I can tell you the exact moment at 16 when I was oh shit. So I think it was a very hard marathon, which is why I think I also am taking a little bit of a break, because I'm your body needs to recover and rest.
And it probably remembers that trauma you put through.
Yeah. And just also, I think it's a constant battle to recreate how I think about running and marathons, and making sure it's a positive and healthy way of viewing running.
And on recovery, what's your ideal rest day? Are you a full couch potato, or do you still need a little bit of movement?
Yeah, I think it depends.
Yeah.
Like sometimes, like I think the athlete in me is like, oh, I need to go for a walk or I need to do 8,000 things if I'm not working out.
Yeah.
But I've been getting a lot into like yoga and Pilates and like seeing that from a recovery standpoint, like walking, like I think has something that I'm trying to do more of from a recovery standpoint because it's so good for you. And
walking is so underrated.
Yes, it's so underrated.
Love it.
Yeah, good recovery. And sometimes I just like to chill on the couch, like, and just be in my own.
I love being a couch potato.
Yeah.
No, rot day on the couch. Oh,
the best.
Ideal day.
Ideal.
Once a month at least for me.
You need that. You need that to just be able to be in your own and, like, be by yourself and rest and watch TV.
Turn off your brain, turn off your body. I think it's so important. I think a lot of people, especially in, like, Indian culture, like, coming from a Indian household where everyone's just like go go go, and also that's from their generational trauma that they have to always keep moving, they can't rest, or it's bad. So I grew up thinking like if I sit on the couch for more than 5 minutes, that's bad. Why am I sitting here? I have to do something. So now when I do, I'm like I have to like tap into the guilt that I feel and I'll be like, no, this is not bad.
This
like,
aspect of you always have to be high performing.
Yes.
But like the importance of like in order to be high performing, you have to have some rest and recovery and you have to recharge to be able to go again.
And that's the only way you can be successful in all aspects of your life.
100%.
No, I love that.
Yeah.
Because, also, I've been seeing you do P-Volve.
Yes. Yeah.
How is that?
Oh, my goodness.
I've been like, looking into it. I'm like, what is it?
So it's smaller movements and you're on like this mat with different numbers on it. Honestly, as an athlete, I'm always so humbled by going to classes because you work so many different muscles that I never worked in my 14 years. Shoulder workout for sure.
Okay.
Prepare
That's how
for
Jen
shoulder.
Addison has those nice ass shoulders.
My shoulders have been sore for days.
Oh my God. I love to see it.
Yeah.
But you also look amazing.
Oh,
so
thank you.
obviously it's all working for you.
Yeah, we hope.
You said you started your mother's run crew.
Yes.
What inspired you to start it, and what's been your favorite part about it?
Yeah, I started Your Mother's Run Crew with my friend Kat in January of 2024. Yeah. And a big reason we started it is because there's not that many female run leads in Austin, and there's also not that many diverse run leads in Austin.
Yes, I completely agree with that.
Yeah, and realistically, like when you are doing something, you want to see people that look like you. It inspires you to do it. And so I've always felt like going into run spaces, I think sometimes me being a runner, I sometimes felt like, do I belong here? Like even though I was a collegiate sprinter and then I got into distance, like I was like, what's the pace going to be like? Is there anybody that's going to look like me there?
Yeah.
So I felt that kind of anxiety and like was like being unsure in that space, and so I wanted to give the opportunity for people that look like me and to have like a safe space, especially women, to come and feel like you can, if this is your first time running, if this is your second time running, like you can come into the space and know that you're going to be supported. You'll have a pacer to pace you, and like you don't have to like care about time, care about what you look like it's open for all.
Oh my God, I love that. And I don't know why I just discovered it while I was like creating questions for you. I was like, wait, I saw this, but I didn't know this was your run club. Of course I want to come. But how many miles are you running?
So
that's the real question.
Good question. Great question. So it's 3 to 5. So you can run 3 or you can run 5. We have pacers for both.
I would love to come. Do you do
come.
Every weekend? Or?
It's once a month. It's usually the 3rd or 4th Thursday of the month.
Okay.
And we also have a walking group too.
I would love to run 3 miles. I love 3 is my I feel comfortable.
It's a fun pace.
I could do that in 35 minutes. Yeah. I know my pace.
Yeah, we're party pacing 3 miles.
I love that.
Yeah.
That is so important because I know I was talking to you about this just about this weekend where I went to that event and I was the only Indian girl there. And you walk into a room and you feel sad, but you're also proud at the same time. But you're also like, I want more women that look like me here. So you saying that like brought tears to my eyes because like it's so important.
It is. It's important to take up space.
Yes, and as an athlete, as South Asians in fitness industry as well, I don't see a lot of representation.
Totally.
And I know there are so many women that look like me that do work out, that are in the fitness industry. So I think it's incredible.
And it's important, like the wellness industry, yes, has come far, but it hasn't come far enough.
Yes.
When it comes to representation and like creating workouts for even different body types and different people, and like the importance of having instructors even that are
look
diverse.
like you. Yes.
Because that makes you feel seen in a room where you might not feel seen. I
1000% agree.
And like in the importance of taking up space in that respect, and like if I can be an inspiration to someone in a room and show that like this is not just for one person, it's not just for one body type, it's not just for one race of person, like there's space for everybody in that space, and like wellness needs to be more inclusive in my opinion. But
no, not in your opinion. That is a fact. It should be inclusive because wellness is important to every single person.
100%. And
I hate that it keeps getting exclusive to only one type of person, woman. And it's like, no, we're all in it. Yeah. You're just not giving us a chance.
Yeah. You know? And it doesn't look the same for everybody.
Exactly.
Similar to what you said. Like, it can look like someone's taking walks every single day or every other day. Like, wellness is so individualized and so important. Like, yes, there's collective wellness when it comes to classes, but it's also an individualized identity of how you are able to get back to your self-care and get back to what you need in order to continue pushing forward.
Yeah, so, what works for you, what works for your body type.
100%.
And I think it's so important that, because I want to see someone curvy in front of me too, you know? Like, I love that. That was amazing. I'm going to definitely be coming to your run club. Let me know when the next, actually, I'll just follow you after this, and then
March 20th. I believe that's...
Oh, okay. Oh, my God. I'm free. Okay, I'll come. I'll bring my friend Swati that was there yesterday. She's a huge runner, and I can't get on her level, but I would love to just come and do a few miles.
Everyone's welcome.
You also work in as a community manager fitness at AG1. Yeah. How does your background in sports play into that role? I feel like we already talked about this a little bit. Yeah. But how do you like being in that role?
Yeah, I feel like it's been a great role because I feel like it's a lot from like a relationship building and like being in community and like supporting and creating spaces for people. Like that's been just like such a joy, and it's filled up my cup. And I feel like I'm such a relationship girl.
Oh, you
like,
definitely are.
I love to build relationships. I love to learn more about people. I think it's also the sociology background in me of like understanding why people are the way they are and what makes them so unique, and being able to like understand that and support that and encourage them in that. So it's been a great experience.
How do you balance personal branding, content creation, and a corporate career? Like, any tips for multitaskers?
Yeah, I think sometimes I'm like, it's my ADHD, but
ADHD. Have you seen that video of Renee? She's like, ADHD.
No, I haven't.
It's so funny because someone asked her the same question. Yeah. She's like, ADHD.
Yeah, no, literally, I think. But it's funny because even when I was in track, I relate it so much to like when I'm out of season and I have nothing on my plate, you will see me procrastinating to an nth degree. But when I was in season and I had 8,000 things on my plate, I felt like I was my most productive and in my flow state. So I feel like the more I have on my plate sometimes, the more productive I am. But also like I think it's creating balance throughout my life of like in some seasons like it's definitely going to be more work heavy and like more social heavy or more run club heavy, but like being able to like recognize like if I'm out of equilibrium in certain things, and sometimes you'll push into that, and other times it's like, okay, what can I take off my plate in order to feel more balanced, or is there a day that I just need to rest or be alone or do things?
So you've learned that about yourself, like you asked yourself that, and you've made a good like mental note as well, right?
I feel like I'm still learning it, honestly, because I think with like moving internally in the company and learning a new role too, even you have to like observe your cadence. And I learned this actually from a mental performance coach based in Austin, but you have to observe your cadence in the sense of like what you need can be so different depending on different seasons. And like I feel like I'm now just learning how to observe my cadence, because for me that potentially looks like I am an extrovert introvert, so that looks like in order to recharge I need to be alone, so making sure I'm getting my alone time to be able to go into the world and be a light in that way. So I'm learning slowly but surely how to observe my cadence and like what I need in order to feel recovered and refueled and able to show up my best self.
No, I love that. And that's so important because I'm also an extrovert introvert. Yeah. And I didn't know that about myself until I think last year. Yeah. And then I learned the term, it's called ambivert.
Yes, yeah.
And I was like, what? that is so me, because sometimes I feel so extrovert and then sometimes I feel so introvert, and I'm like, okay, there has to be something in the middle. And we're ambiverts.
And I think even with that, I've been told my entire life that I was an extrovert.
Same.
So the moments when I was introverted,
I'm like, that's not me.
I was like, oh no, am I depressed? Am I anxious? What's going on? And realizing, no, that's how I like recharge and refuel and can be extroverted in that way.
And that is so, so important. I think that is, it's so funny that you said that, because I feel the same way. Like when I grew up, everyone's like, you're so out there, you're so extroverted, you're not an introvert. When I would say like, I'm not feeling like it. But you're right. It's because we need to recharge.
And it takes off the pressure to be and to do and like to be that for everybody else. Of like, I think it's taken me 28 years to like really realize that of like, I don't need to be doing everything, and I don't need to be with everybody. Like I can take time for myself, and that's actually how I become more of me.
Yes. Oh my God, I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. I need to like write that down. I can take more time to myself. That's how I can be more of me.
Yeah.
I love it so much. What's one thing you wish more people understood about female athletes and their experiences?
Yeah. I think it's a good question. One thing I wish people knew more about female athletes is how multifaceted they are. I think a lot of people put female athletes into a box of like, oh, you're a runner and that's what you do.
Yeah.
But like they're so multifaceted and so multi-talented, and like the importance of being able to like allow female athletes to express their multifacetedness in that way is super important. So I feel like that's one thing of like, yes, like you do a lot of, maybe you're a runner or maybe you're a basketball player, but like you're also talented in other ways. So like embracing those aspects.
Speaking of female like sports, women's sports, what do you wish like people would stop underestimating about female sports?
Yeah, I would say, well, I think maybe this is less of an underestimating, but more of a criticism. Like, I feel like a lot female athletes that I've seen that get so much hate on the internet.
I don't know
for
why.
being them and doing them, and like I think a lot of people just are so judgmental of female athletes and for just being.
Yes.
And so I wish there was less of that, because like it's such an impactful and powerful and inspiring thing to be a female athlete in the sports world, and like I wish more people celebrated female athletes in that way.
I agree. I wish they would show up more for them too.
Yeah.
Because it is so. I was a basketball player in high school.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not a pro. I couldn't. I was too short to become a pro. But I was a basketball player in high school, and you could just see the double standard of how people show up for the guys versus the girls.
Yeah.
And it's really sad because it still happens to this day.
100%.
So I wish there was more people showing up and less judgment towards.
And I think it's
athletes.
starting to get there, where you see also spin-off leagues of like, for example, Unrivaled, which is a women's basketball league from the W, and they take players and do like a whole tournament series. But like you're starting to see more support of women's sports, but we need more of it. Yeah. Continue to see support.
Forever.
Yeah.
Like, don't just show up today, show up tomorrow, the next day.
Yeah.
Every single day.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. What's the biggest challenge you faced in your career so far, and how did you overcome it?
Yeah, that's a good one. I feel like just in general, perfectionism.
Yeah.
Like,
are you a perfectionist?
I am a recovering perfectionist. I always say I'm trying to move less from away from perfection, more to progression.
Yes.
And you can master like that. I feel like I mastered it more so in a sports world when I was in track, because I learned a lot and I had to like let go of the perfection aspect. But I think it's an everyday like battle and struggle to remember like it's okay to be a learner, and it's okay to make mistakes, and give yourself grace for that. That's been a big theme in my life, of giving myself more grace, and like also just like understanding that it's a process, and like getting from point A to point B, like it's about the journey. It could be point A to B to C to D, and then you get there, but like having that growth mindset towards things and like applying that in every area of your life. In like for me, it's like outside of running, applying it in like corporate job, applying it in different things, that like it's okay to like enjoy the process. Yeah,
it was probably so hard for you to pivot from that too, because track and field is perfectionism. Like you have to make a time. Yeah. You have to be there, and you have to show up every single day as your best self.
Yeah. And like every little step, like every the way you cock your foot, the way you accelerate, the way you're in your speed endurance. It's all so relevant to a 60-meter 100. Like, it could change your whole race. So, and I think it actually honestly probably created a lot of anxiety, like performance anxiety within me. And I'm learning how to unlearn that, of like being okay making mistakes. And like, it's part of the process of learning. And I did have to make those mistakes anyways in order to learn in the first place.
So you just have to remind yourself that too.
The importance of making those mistakes. And I always say that, like, you're either succeeding or you're learning. Like, I don't like to say you're failing, because I think you're learning.
I think with every, like, you think you're failing, I'm putting quotes in my hands right now. I don't think it's a failure. I think it's like, you try, you fall down, but you have to get back up, and you relearn what you did not do at the first time, right?
100%. Yeah.
No, I love that. How has your cultural background shaped your perspective on sports and in life in general?
That's a really good question. I feel like in life in general, of just like, so my mom's Nigerian, my dad's Sierra Leonean, and being like a Black woman in America, like, I think there's so many things that sports has impacted in that way, of like showing up but being more than just my sport, or more than just my expert in that space, and like being able to show up as myself and my full self in multiple facets of my life. I feel like it's been shaped by sport, of like, that's been my identity, but like outside of that, like, I'm so much more than that, and being able to live in that.
I mean, if anyone listens to this, they can hear how much more you are than just that. So that's nice. We're going to do a little rapid fire round.
Okay.
Just to like kind of end it, but I'm going to also end with another question, because I think that one's important.
Love.
But rapid fire round. Okay, first question. Go-to hype song before a big moment.
Ooh. Shoot.
You're like... Or top 2 right now.
My top 2 is... well, I've been listening to Role Model a lot.
Okay. Who's that by?
Oh, no, Role Model. I don't remember what his song was, but he's an artist.
Okay.
Doechii.
Oh, yes. Doechii's been fire.
Yes.
Oh, my God. I love Denalo's River.
Yeah.
What's the first thing you do every morning?
Oh, the first thing I do every morning is turn off my hatch.
Oh, same.
Yeah. Like, I press the, like, button to go into, like, the breathing. Like, I set an alarm to go into breathing and into, like, a morning, like, mindset, like, reset.
Oh, so. I need to do that. I didn't know you could do that.
Oh, I live by my hatch.
Okay. Are you a snoozer? Because I'm a big snoozer, because that might help me not snooze.
No, I don't like... some days I do, but I don't like to, because before you know it, I'm, like, asleep for hours.
Oh, my God. I'm such a bad snoozer. One food you can eat every single day and never get tired of.
Pizza.
Oh, my God.
I love pizza.
Is that the New York in you, or just like...
No, I just think pizza? In general, I'm like lactose intolerant, but I'll have cheese, so that's probably not great, but...
I love pizza. Yeah. A dream guest you'd love to have, it says on your podcast, but I would say on your run with you.
On my run. Ooh. I don't know. Oprah, maybe.
Oh, that'd be nice.
I feel like she's so much wisdom.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd love to hear from her.
Oh my God, me too. I would just want to sit down with her for like 2 minutes. Yeah. Just to be in her presence.
Right? Yeah.
Hidden talent most people don't know about.
I can sing.
Oh.
Yeah.
They put you on the spot. No, I wouldn't do that.
I can sing, nice. Yeah. I was in concert choir when I was younger and got vocal notes because I used to shout all the time with my brothers, but she's a low alto and she's a singer.
We love that. Your ideal way to spend a Sunday?
Self-care. Organizing my life, going to church, coming back, like just getting my place clean, figuring out what my schedule is like, going grocery shopping. That is my ideal. And going to bed by like 9.
Oh, amazing. Yeah. Are you like a 5 a.m.er?
I am, in fact. I'm a 4:45. Hatch alarm starts to brighten. I just like... there's so much to do in the morning. Like, I feel like I get so much done in the morning. Like, that's when I feel like I'm the most productive. So, yeah.
No, I'm learning that I am definitely more productive in the morning.
Yeah.
Well, on that self-care note, what's your favorite self-care ritual?
Ooh, my favorite self-care ritual is probably doing my skincare.
Yeah.
Like, there's just something so refreshing about cleaning your face.
What's your favorite product that you're using on your skin right now?
Well, I'm using a lot of Skin Farm products.
Okay.
And they have this, like, salicylic acid wipe. And I feel like throughout the day, I'm just always, like, doing 8,000 things. There's so much toxins.
You're
like
glowing. So it's obviously
you.
working.
It's working. So I feel like that is a product that I really like. And Caudalie, I think that's how you say it. They have some good, like, scrubs and masks that I like to do.
I'm going to have to check it out.
Feel cleansed.
Yeah. I love it. If you had to describe your current mindset in one word, what would it be?
Current mindset. I would say a learner again.
I love it.
If that makes sense.
Yeah. You're relearning.
Yes, relearning.
Yeah.
I feel like that is, like, my current mindset.
Yeah. And as it should be.
Yeah.
I was going to say growth because after listening to you talk, you just always say growth and everything. And I was like, yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Growth, relearning.
Yeah.
I love it.
And, like, the importance of, like, being a relearner or relearning things.
Oh, my God. You should do a whole, like, content on that, too.
I really
Like
should.
a whole series on relearning this.
Because I've started over and started things so many times that just gave me a good idea.
Wow, it should be a social media manager.
Yeah.
That's my side job.
Yeah, actually.
Last question, which I think I love ending on an inspirational note. What's the best piece of advice you've ever received?
The best piece of advice I've ever received. Well, back to the relearning and growing. Like, it's okay to start over.
Yeah.
And I think that is the best piece of advice because I've done it so many times, but it also is, like, the importance of, like, it's okay to start over and it's okay for something not to work out the way you thought it was going to work out because you're still learning in that.
Yes.
And, like, if you want to move to a different city, like, that's okay. If you want to stop doing something and start doing something else, like, it's your life and you're steering your ship and, like, it's okay to start over in that way.
And I completely 1000% agree with that.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for being here. That was amazing.
For having me.
I hope you had a good time.
I had the best time.
Okay, thank you. Yeah. I'm definitely coming to the Runners Club.
Yes, come.
I'm not even lying. We got it on tape.
Love it.
There's too much evidence.
I'll see you there. I know, right?
Well, thank you, and thank you all for tuning in, and tune in every week on Tuesdays for new episodes.